Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. bright and early here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I'm fired up. I got so much to talk about. Let's see if we can get it into one video. Okay, you guys know my routine, my methodology. Most mornings I come up with like 3 good stories that affect me that I feel that are very relevant for the day. And I try to tie them all into a cohesive idea. Well, I've got more than 3 this morning. I'm going to talk about the stimulus checks first of all. There's probably a lot of people out there that aren't as politically, that don't pay attention to politics. They're too busy working with kids, families, and just don't really pay a lot of attention to the newspaper or the news. The $1,400 stimulus check is coming out, is being put out into direct deposit right now. By this weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's already going out into our bank accounts. One interesting thing to know, I don't think a lot of people know this, is that Joe Biden specifically made a point in saying that his name is not going to be on this check. If we all remember last year, I think it was a $1,200 stimulus check. It was actually stopped just after it had started coming out because President Narcissist in Chief Donald Trump decided he needed his name on his money. It wasn't his money, but that's how Trump supporters made it sound, and he made it sound. But he wanted his name on the check, and they had to stop the check. It took time and money to put his name on all the checks. That is not the case. There will be no President Joe Biden on these checks. Because why? Because it's our money. It's not Joe Biden's money. It was never Donald Trump's money. Last year, I heard it over and over again from Trump supporters. Well, if you don't like Donald Trump, don't take his money. You're a hypocrite. Just refuse it. Send it back. Rip it up. Don't be a hypocrite. You're not going to hear me say ridiculous stuff like that. It's our money. It's not Joe Biden's money. It's not Donald Trump's money. It's our freaking money. All right. Hey, you know what? I've been talking to Trump supporters over the last couple days. And first thing they say, this is full of pork. Nancy Pelosi's tunnel. It's to build a tunnel to nowhere. Oh, my God. And they don't know the specifics, but they just think all this money is going to build a tunnel somewhere. And a bridge, and that Chuck Schumer, and that Nancy Pelosi. Just yesterday, I had this conversation twice, at least yesterday and the day before. Okay, so I looked into this. First of all, the bridge, the Bay Area Rapid Transit for the San Francisco Bay Area. It's been taken out of the bill. There's no money for Nancy Pelosi's tunnel in this bill anymore. So you could zip it with that. It's not in there. Another interesting point to make is that project isn't even in Nancy Pelosi's area, in her jurisdiction, in her region, in her area. It's not her project. Another interesting thing to point out is this was approved by the Trump administration. I think it was Transportation Secretary Chi. I want to say, I can't remember her first name, Chi. This was approved by Donald Trump's administration. This whole billions of dollars was approved for this project. Same thing with Chuck Schumer and this bridge. And this bridge is needed too, the Ontario to New York bridge. But it's been taken out of the bill. It's not in the bill. There's no money in this stimulus for Nancy Pelosi's tunnel or Chuck Schumer's bridge. So you Trump supporters, please give me a break and stop it with that. It's not in there. It's been taken out. And both those projects were approved by Donald Trump's administration, by Donald Trump's transportation secretary like 2 years ago. And they just never got around to it. Trump and saying how he's going to do the infrastructure, America, rebuild America. Remember that? Never happened. That's what this is. That's what that money was going to be for, but it was taken out of the stimulus bill, not in there. So I don't want to keep hearing this Nancy Pelosi tunnel stuff every time I talk to a Trump supporter. All right, I think I agree that not all of this money is going to be focused directly on vaccines and the COVID-19 virus, but then a lot more has been affected. A lot of this money is going to be going to transportation, buses, trains. As we all know, mass transit, it's been affected. We couldn't ride in those. There's been no income for the buses, for the trains. They need a jump start. Small businesses, restaurants. Interesting thing with the restaurants, there's already 1 or 2 Republicans coming out and talking up the COVID-19, talking up the stimulus bill, saying, going back to their their particular constituents and saying how it's going to be good for small businesses and restaurants. There's already a few Republicans taking credit and talking it up already. I think we're going to see more of that in the coming days too. But this is good. I think this is it's what the economy needs to set the fuse, to light this up. And I think that's what Republicans see. I think they understand that this is going to jumpstart the economy. And more than likely, Joe Biden's it's going to look very good. Well, like he said, I think it was kind of risky picking a date. He mentioned July 4th, the 4th of July. By then, we might get relatively back to normal. He mentioned that in the State of the Union last night. And I thought that was kind of risky because, as we all know, in a perfect world, things don't go as they should. I think back to Donald Trump saying, I know Joe Biden is no Donald Trump, but Trump said something about things getting back to normal by Easter of 2020. It seems kind of ridiculous now that it was Donald Trump, so. But, hopefully things will be relatively back to the new normal by the 4th of July. So these checks are going to be coming out this weekend. All right, I'm going to have to make another video because I want to talk in my next video. I want to talk about Tucker Carlson grasping for straws, trying to find anything wrong with, because I guess he sounded very upset because Joe Biden actually made it completely through the speech without one flaw. But he made it through his speech flawlessly. And this really upset, I'm sorry, did I say Tucker Carlson? I meant Sean Hannity. Really upset Sean Hannity. So Sean Hannity had to show a bunch of clips from past Biden errors, flubs, whatever you want to call them. Hannity seemed very upset that Biden made it through the whole speech without one problem, without one issue. Then there's Tucker Carlson going to war with the Pentagon and the DOD. I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about Pepe Le Pew. Yeah, I actually want to talk about this because I remember back watching Pepe Le Pew, and it kind of made me feel nervous watching that cat trying to fight off the skunk. So I'm going to talk about Pepe Le Pew in the next video. All right, you guys have a good Friday. I'll see you in the next video in a couple hours.